Time's up. Admiral.
Here it comes.
That just makes me smile. I like it. Mm-hmm. Howdy, everybody. Welcome back to Doctor Who Cares Reviews, where we take a little bit of time out of our day and to entertain you during your day, where Doctor Who certainly is entertaining. It's not. So we try to make something fun out of this disaster. And oh boy, this episode, while again, I'm not pulling my hair out. I'm not screaming, I'm not ranting and raving, but it's just roll your eyes, boring and stupid. But let's get into it. Let's say hi to everybody. Hey, Jed. It's as though we never hang out at all, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely like we've never encountered each other. And it's not like you hold a forever permanent grudge against me for a movie I had you watch yesterday. So
no. Hey, listen, Doctor Who is a pain we've all willingly inflicted on ourselves. I didn't make you do this. Jeremy wanted me to make you do this, but you chose willingly to join us on this.
I did.
I wanted to make you. I still have bones to pick with you. I mean, freaking goddamn Witcher Blood Origin. I still will never forgive you for that.
Unicorn, penis.
I should have made you do Predestination with us, Jeremy. You deserve that crap.
Yeah.
This honestly, Jeremy, this movie we just reviewed in the last stream, it probably would have made you cry because it's so dumb.
Or it's the story of Jeremy. He might have seen himself in it.
All right, Jeremy, what would you do if you were literally your own existence, where you created yourself?
Like
not with anybody else.
You're your own mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, like everything. Time travel wise, you become all
you
of your
are
ancestors.
You are a singular gene. It's only you. You create yourself in an endless loop.
There's no gene puddle. There's no family tree. It's just you.
Do I have any special powers?
No. Well,
you're born with both fully functioning genitalia.
Yeah, and you literally screw yourself to make yourself,
and then kidnap yourself,
so that you can grow up again to be screwed by yourself.
And then
we're hurting him.
In the hope to become a massive terrorist that kills thousands of people in order to make a government organization fundable.
He's struggling.
So is it incest or is it masturbation?
No. See, we didn't go that far. We stopped short of talking about it like that. That's a ballbusters discussion right there.
This is a question I have constantly. If you have sex with like
it's not a clone
of yourself,
it's not a clone. It is you. It is not a clone. It is you.
It's a future version. So like you in the future time travel back to have sex with yourself, to make yourself as a baby.
With the girl version of yourself.
Yeah, then a future version of you came back and kidnapped the baby to take it back in time to where you were raised.
Guys, go watch Saturday Night Drive-In. You'll understand what we're talking about if you didn't already. Anyway,
we should have made him watch it.
Jeremy, I don't have to ask how you are now because I know how you are. Your brain the hamster has decided to take a smoke break.
Would you rather
the hamster has decided to walk into the closet?
Doctor Who?
The hamster's in the tiny chair. Hamster's in the tiny chair.
He's standing in the tiny chair in the closet. That's the rope. That's the best. Yep, the rope.
Contemplating
right
the rope. Contemplating the rope.
Yep. What the fuck did I just hear?
Hey, you heard a garbage movie. But Jeremy, how are you anyway? How are you, Jeremy? How are you?
I'm alive. I'm not hungover. It's hot. There was supposed to be a storm, but I guess the storm's passed. So yeah, we're here. Some of us are queer. Doctor Who's definitely gay and just boring and lame.
Listen, there's a point where I'm going to ask the gays question here about the gays in this show. But anyway, yeah, so welcome everybody. We're going to talk the legend of Ruby Sunday. Thank you for joining us across all three of our chats. We hope you guys are going to have a good time. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channels, and enjoy the rest of the show live or on the replay. Okay, so the legend of Ruby Sunday, which is, Jed, what's the title for next week's episode?
The Empire of Death, I believe.
Yeah, these titles are stupid. It's not just that the writing is bad and the concepts. Oh, I'll give it. The concepts there are kernels of interesting things if executed properly that could work. But the problem is Jed's going to point out in a bit, they're retconning shit, they're damaging shit, and they're making up shit out of nowhere with that kind of makes it unbelievable and not entertaining.
Wait, but I thought anagrams always have letters that aren't in the actual anagram word.
Wait, it's a different anagram, but it wasn't there. What's it?
It
The word
There to figure out. He's acted like it was so complicated that he didn't figure it out. But no, the evidence wasn't there to figure out.
All right, so let's kick it off. We start off the episode with we're in London, and here comes the TARDIS heading towards Avengers Tower, and they're preparing for the Doctor's arrival. And when Ncuti Gatwa arrives, it's the moment from the trailer. Give me the lovin', and you wonder what it meant. Oh, it meant hi, Jason Noble, who has a job there. Jed, how old is Jason Noble supposed to be?
At least as of the 60th anniversary, Jason Noble was 15 years old, but this might be a few months later, so Jason might be 16 at most.
Okay. Dermy, why is a 15, possibly 16-year-old man dressing as a woman working in possibly one of the world's most secure and important agencies?
Well, it's because he's trans and his mama works there.
Okay. And listen, I couldn't help but see it, and I felt a little disgusted that I noticed it when Jason Noble runs to hug Ncuti Gatwa. Ncuti Gatwa could barely lift him.
Well, Jason was way taller,
He's a bigger
with the
dude.
heels.
And just the outfit. I guess they just have something in the shirt to make it look like there's something representing boobs there, but it looked sad and strange to my heterosexual eyes.
They are sad and strange.
Yeah. And then
to my non-heterosexual eyes, I was like, no, they don't exist, and no, they took the hormones.
No, yeah, and
they're proud and front and center on their Twitter. I said Twitch.
It's okay.
Yeah,
but here's the thing: what purpose did Jason Noble serve in this episode?
Diversity. Checkbox.
Diversity.
That's it. Jason Noble literally contributes nothing to this episode. Nothing. He's just there. Yes, he is just there to, like you guys just said, check a box. Diversity. Doesn't have an idea. Whatever desk they're working at isn't pivotal. Because Jet, doesn't he admit at one point when him and Ruby are going to go have girl moment out to go pick up the VHS? Mm-hmm. Oh, they just have me investigating like pickpocketing and crimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even a legitimate position.
Unit would not be investigating pickpocketing, B&Es, anything like that. Those are human crimes. The human police would deal with it. So that means Unit is literally making up shit just for Jason to putter with.
I mean, wouldn't you?
I don't want that person puttering anywhere near me. No, thank you. But we understand they literally in this episode show you this is a worthless character who's literally be given busy work. If this was a parody, I would say they were purposely self-owning and being self-aware of how useless the character is. But I guarantee RTD thinks that this is so brave and bold. Because as soon as they get in there, remember, later on when Ruby's gay mom comes around, or maybe it was somebody else, or aren't you brave and bold? They literally start affirming Jason Noble.
Well, yeah, as soon as the black mom saw Jason, the black mom said, "Oh, aren't you so beautiful?" Just like in the 60th anniversary, they always have to say, "Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're brave. Oh, you're stunning." Aw, just constantly.
Learned nothing. No self-awareness. But they arrive. So the whole purpose of the Doctor showing up is because he's been seeing somebody. The same person we've been seeing in episode after episode where they're in all their images and this and that, and they even showed a couple of things which we didn't see. So the Doctor and Tits have been off having adventures that off camera that we didn't see.
Yeah.
Even with fake Borg too. Did you catch that, Jed? The fake
I did
Borg.
catch the fake Borg. It was definitely
Fake
supposed to give
Borg.
you Locutus vibes. That was 100% what that framing was.
Fake Borg. And we talked about this last week, Dermy. They have executed the whole Susan thing extremely poorly for 6 episodes up to this. Whereas they want us to know it's something. And listen, I even posed this in a previous discussion. Oh, could it be Susan, the doctor's granddaughter? Which made it too obvious. I believe we even said it's too obvious, but we're not going to put it past them. And they ran with that angle today.
Yeah,
they ran with
yeah, they did. The biggest problem with this is we're smarter than they are. They think they're smart and geniuses, and we're just watching it play out. And for my review tomorrow, I was like, we saw this from a mile freaking away. We're constantly showing up. We talked about Susan during Maestro. They're gonna bring Susan back, and it's right there in front of us, and it's not even compelling or interesting. It's like, there's nothing here to grip me to these characters and what's going on.
I asked Jed this in about a couple hours ago. I'm going to ask you this, Jeremy. Do you think the other obvious person who's been thrown on our face too many times, Flood, do you think Mrs. Flood is the real Susan?
There's something with her. It wouldn't put me past me again. I wouldn't put it past them to make Mrs. Flood also Susan.
She's gonna be here. They've been throwing Susan in our face since.
She's got to be coming up at least in the next season. But the only evidence I can say that leads me to disbelieve that it's going to be the real Susan, Mrs. Flood, is how mean she was to the grandma in the bed. Like, that was too aggressive to be a good character. Like, I feel like there's going to be something else morality-wise in there. But, Dermy, with what you said, they think they're so smart. That's not just the writers, because Russell T. Davies obviously thinks he's a genius. But in the show itself, that little kid in the stroller or the scooter thing, he makes one of the wildest leaps in logic that I've ever seen that thankfully isn't true, but it is just so dumb. It's like, you're looking for a woman who you see everywhere, and you're looking for a woman who you've seen nowhere. What if they're the same person? And everyone just runs with it. They're like, we must get the tape right now because it's clearly the same woman. End of the world. Like, they act like the stakes are so high to get Ruby's mom right now.
And and Jed, you hate convenience, and I hate when it's blatant. Oh, we happen to have the videotape, and we watch it every Christmas.
That should have been set up in the Christmas special because it was at Christmas.
Yeah. This was way too easy, way too like, oh my God, thing happened, too convenient. It's
oh, look, this woman is on TV, and we're hacking her feed right now, but she's going to be on TV. She's going to be showing off her greatness to the world. Oh, we've already got Mel there.
Hacked feed. I hated how they did the hacked feed because they're doing it via like your actual cameras, because they're doing like actual like TV, how we're viewing the show. So those angles are on the monitor. It's like, no, you would be in front of her, looking at her the whole time. You wouldn't be seeing behind her. You wouldn't have the anger of Mel.
Angles, the angle on Mel was absolutely ridiculously retarded. But there's a lot of examples of that, and references to previous episodes, ones that Adam and I were talking about earlier. They do mention the 14th Doctor. So the 14th Doctor is in this universe. David Tennant. There wasn't the timeline split like Russell told everyone happened, because when he when the Doctor first comes out of the TARDIS, grabs the child, picks she up in the air. He asks, "How is your uncle?" And at the end of the 60th anniversary, David Tennant said, "Hey, call me your uncle," basically.
And I missed it. I missed it. Jed caught it because I had been listening, and I guess when I was watching it, maybe I wasn't fully awake yet, and I was listening for it, but I missed I think, is there going to be a reference to David Tennant 14? And I missed it, but Jed caught it, and I'm glad, because that just shows us that they're talking out of their asses. That all the ancillary discussions they put out in interviews and this and that, or extra shit that you have to use to do your homework to fill in the plot holes that he created, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Every bit of it.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Why aren't they calling David Tennant up?
Because he's the real Doctor. That's the actual. I mean, even though we all agree he's not the real Doctor, but this is a clone.
But
This
here's
is
my question.
Okay. All right. I'll continue my rant in a minute. Go ahead.
Because there's a lot of like serious contradictions, especially if you take into the 60th into account.
Mhm.
How the fuck does Shooty have any connection to Rose and care about her on that
They
level?
saw
Well,
each other.
I'm also going to add this to this. Remember when they're having the discussion about when Kate's asking him about having a granddaughter. Oh, my uncle used to, my father used to tell me about all this stuff. Never told you had a granddaughter. And she said, and here's this. This has to be a butcher. And Jed, I want you to catch me if I fall here. She says to him, "You have a granddaughter. That means you might have children." And then he actually says, "It doesn't work like that with my time traveling." No, that's the first Doctor. He had a family, and he had a granddaughter on Gallifrey. That's actual thing. There's no this isn't a River Song situation where things are out of order. See, there it is. This is RTD trying to be clever, trying to be Moffat clever. Moffat is much cleverer than RTD in this sense. Oh, we're gonna do it out of order.
Which isn't true. Even in the original show, back in the 60s, whatnot, they didn't really talk about Susan's parents, but it was always implied that they were there. And then in Russell T Davies' own era, they talked about how his children are dead now because of either anything that happened during Classic Who or the Time War. And Matt Smith even specifically says, "I've been a father before." No, David Tennant, excuse me. David Tennant, when we meet the Doctor's daughter, he says, "I've been a father before," talking to Donna. So Russell should know, yes, he's had kids. It's not out of order because that doesn't make sense with how much he's established at the Time War locked Gallifrey away that the Doctor can't just go back to before the fall of Gallifrey and have all his adventures on Gallifrey knowing it ends up with him blowing up Gallifrey. It's locked away.
Doesn't the Doctor, like, to what your point, Matt Smith brings out his kid's cradle. Or his cradle.
Yes, I remember that cradle. When we see the cradle. You're right.
Yep,
during
in Devil's Run.
Yeah, you're right. I remember that now. But the point is this, though. Shudigat was also a goddamn clone.
That's true. He doesn't have any kids.
He's literally a clone. He isn't. Even if you want to stretch it, saying he came from within the actual Doctor, he is still an entity that never had any of that.
Who has no baggage and doesn't care about literally anything. Ultimately, he should not be thinking I bring disaster anywhere because, again, I have zero baggage.
And let's bring this right now. So we're going to jump ahead when the whole Sutek being attached to the TARDIS. Jed, why don't you walk us through? You were telling this to me about earlier, the stand theory attached to this.
So, yeah, for those who aren't aware, Sutek was a villain in Classic Who, primarily a little bit in the Tom Baker era with the Pyramids of Mars. There were some audio adventures with him a little bit too, but he wasn't a super prominent character. With the reveal in this episode, they made it seem like they were trying to recreate the reveal of the Master at the end of season 3. That was a real reveal. The Master is a real character that people care about and have expectations for. Sutek, no one gives a shit about Sutek. And he's changed the lore of Sutek. So in the Tom Baker era, the Osirians, it's a play on the word Osiris, I don't remember how it's pronounced, are from a planet. They're just aliens. It's very similar to how Thor is used in the Marvel comics in the MCU, where he's just a powerful alien from another planet. They came to Earth, created Egyptian mythology and whatnot, but they are more powerful than Time Lords. Like, he's able to psychically beat the Doctor in a fight and like basically force him to the ground and whatnot. So they are more powerful than average, but it is in no way implied that he predates the universe, the father, mother, and other of all. Like, he's the god of death in Egyptian mythology. Yeah. But this episode is like he predates the universe, is one of the most powerful beings ever, making the Maestro look like a kitten. And it's just absolutely bastardizing the lore to have a reference to Classic Who. And that's all this is. Just using Sutek is a reference to Classic Who. And Sutek wasn't some jackal-looking ghostly figure in Classic Who. He was just a dude with a big-ass helmet. That's all he was. He was a dude with a big-ass helmet.
So let's think about this. So let's give even a a slight credence to the Stan theory that it goes all the way back to Tom Baker, and it maybe he attached himself to the TARDIS.
Mm-hmm.
Dermy, this isn't even the same TARDIS.
That's right.
This is a
TARDIS,
clone. This is a copy of the real thing.
this is a copy of Yeah, you're right. This is another clone. I think there's been a moment. No, I'm getting a different TARDIS mixed up. And on this whole thing of like, this is a clone of that TARDIS. When they scan the TARDIS and they're like, we see life signs. The TARDIS is alive.
And
you would see life signs.
And also, I mean, Jed, I asked you this earlier. Let's stretch the credulity of all this and say, okay, we're going to allow it to happen in some weird way. The TARDIS would have defenses against this sort of infestation incursion to itself.
If unit scanners can pick up Sutek, the TARDIS's scanners would have been able to pick up Sutek.
Well, I mean, freaking unit is retarded. They're completely inept.
Oh, and Matt, Silent Music King, we will be talking about that tomorrow on Roundtable, 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll be talking about that possibility.
I have a video out on it right now.
Yeah. And you go watch my video. It's right there as well. But here's the thing. So yeah, none of this, it makes no sense. This really is made for the Disney Who fake fan who has zero knowledge. I mean, I have casual knowledge. Dermy has a little more knowledge than me, and Jed has way more knowledge than me. And even I know that this is it doesn't work based on the facts and logic that this is a copy. Shudigatwa isn't. He's a manifestation of the real thing, and I say that with a lot of difficulty because we even know that we don't want to know that Dr. Karen Jodie Whittaker was even the real thing at all.
Yeah,
but playing by their rules, he was drawn from it, and his TARDIS was created by hitting the real thing with a hammer.
And it changed it too. It added a wheelchair ramp and a jukebox.
And that it doesn't make any sense because the original TARDIS is unique because it's broken. It's damaged. It's an imperfect TARDIS. It has a very strange personality. One of my favorite Mass With episodes is when the TARDIS inhabits the dead girl's body and he gets to talk to her. And
that's a great episode.
That's so much fun.
It's the one thing that I've seen from Neil Gaiman that I actually like. I'm not a big fan of Neil Gaiman, but he did a phenomenal job with that one.
Yeah. So, but there is the TARDIS is a character and has a history of personality. This thing has nothing. I mean, Jed, what are you sharing here before I ask you this question? What is this?
Oh, this is just the real Sutek for context. That's Sutek on the right. This is him beating Tom Baker in a mental battle. But yeah, he's just a dude in a big ass helmet. And his eyes do glow a little bit. And I think this guy is what they're doing with Susan. He is a acolyte of Sutek, where his skin looks a little bit whiter, but he doesn't get like glowing red eyes or anything. He's mind controlled sort of by Sutek. But
I could understand the mind control because I don't understand anything that's.
We're going to get into that in a second. We'll get into that in a second. But I think I forgot my point I was going to make.
Oh,
okay, we'll move on then. Totally forgot my point. Chat, I'm sorry. Anybody watching this replay, I forgot my point. We're going to move on. Maybe it'll come back to me. So we'll go to what Dermy said there. This doesn't make sense. The whole buildup of all of this, where who is Susan Triad or whatever,
which is apparently Susan? An anagram of TARDIS. I hated when the Doctor thought it was some big reveal. Like, look, it says TARDIS, and everyone in unit's like, God, you're pathetic. Of course we figured that out.
We all figured it out, but it's the way they treated him. Like, even the buff, muscly dude who is implied to be dumb is going like, yeah, even I figured that out. Like, come on. Be a little bit nicer. You could be like, yeah, we already discovered that.
And then they had the Elon Musk jab in that conversation too.
You see, I thought that was a Trump jab. I thought that was a Trump jab.
Well, they said tech. They mentioned tech.
Oh, they mentioned tech? Okay. I didn't hear the tech part. I just heard billionaire, and I thought, okay.
There was a lot of very topical references, political ones in that conversation, and in most of the episode, but
especially when Sue's doing her speech. The little bit that you do get.
Oh, the
So
little
that's
dance
so-
too.
so that
Oh,
the
God.
whole investigation of Susan, like we said, it's ridiculous, it's boring, and this is the continuing, in my opinion, one of the biggest, most egregious failures of Disney New Who is the fact that Ncuti Gatwa never does anything, never has an idea, only interferes honestly, and maybe moves a couple people around the board, like allowing Ruby's gay mom to come upstairs. Oh, I'm gonna. Okay, she got clearance.
Ruby's gay mom that just takes kids in for the paycheck.
Yeah. And listen, let's play their game too with that. Yes, considering her daughter is a companion and may one day die from being a companion. Yes, as we've established, unit will give jobs to family members who've been affected by the doctor's wake.
Mhm.
Yeah, that didn't happen yet for her. She hasn't earned that shit yet. she hasn't earned that
She
shit.
just exists.
She exists.
Like
Exactly.
Rose's mom, I would understand. Well, she's not there. Never mind. But I would understand if Rose's mom was in this universe. She would, like real Rose, not Donna and Rose. She would probably be a part of unit because of how connected she was and how she did force herself into being connected with the doctor because she cared about Rose so much. In this moment, I don't see this. She doesn't really force herself there. Doctor just tags her along and like bends over for her.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. What has Ruby done? And I'm leading up to what
She
my next
makes
point of
it
this is.
snow. God damn
Makes
it.
it snow. Listen, again, Millie Gibson has great tits, but that's about it. Ruby hasn't
Hey,
done anything.
she took on that freaking prime minister. Oh wait, that was erased.
Yeah. And speaking of that episode, do you guys remember in that episode when she was talking to Kate Stewart but right before Kate, lost her mind at Ruby for unexplained reasons still, she mentioned that the 73 yards is also 66.6 meters, right? They said in this episode that the CCT camera from 2004 was 66.6 meters away from the church. So they're still tying in the 73 yards as being integral to the backstory.
Jed, this is your fault because we just watched that horrible, stupid movie. Goddamn, what if Ruby's her own mother? What if Ruby's her own mother?
Who's the father, Jason?
I don't know.
Is it bad that I started actually thinking Ruby's gonna be her own goddamn mom?
Well, here's the thing too. I'll make that second point of this. Well, I was talking about the doctor never does anything. He didn't actually accomplish anything in this episode. He didn't come up with any ideas.
No,
It was all the women around him came up with ideas. And
he had one idea. He had one idea. Time window.
But they already
had the technology. All right, I will say now that we're talking about the time window, I have one thing about this episode that I kind of liked. The performance was bad, but the idea of it I liked. Is when he walked into the time window room, looked at their technology for a second, got a lay of it, and then just burst out laughing because of how pathetic it is. I could see the real doctor doing that, looking at human technology, be like, "Oh, poor guys. Oh, you guys try so hard." I guess it's effort that counts. Like I can see the real doctor doing that. So, one small bit of almost praise.
But he doesn't accomplish anything. Even when the whole time window scene, he doesn't add anything, and that really bothers me. He says, "Oh, I don't remember this happening." What? Something's messing with my memory. What? You're the doctor. You're the doctor.
And like you said, they were being inconsistent. Is this being generated by him and Ruby's memories? Is it just a recreation of the tape? Are they physically there able to interact with the past? Like his memory wouldn't change what was happening.
I don't know why the hell is the soldier in there in the time window at all?
He did say everyone get behind the glass, and then he didn't.
He's the guard. I mean, listen, I thought he was. All right, I'll say
he's the guard. He's the guard.
Colonel
But why do you need a guard in there? I don't know how the time window works. That's the problem. Because can the time window kill you? Can it not? Why do you need a guard? And if you're gonna have a guard in there, what if the guard kills a bunch of people? Oh shit! You just fucked up time.
Well, and as someone who was in the military, there's no way on heaven or earth that a colonel would be the one guarding
guard
that
duty.
room.
Yeah.
Colonels are kind of important. Yeah, they're not generals or anything, but they're right below generals.
Yeah,
so
full-board colonels. Just next up is one-star general.
yeah,
I mean,
so no, I can see maybe a major, which is 2 below, maybe doing, but I'd see more likely an enlisted man or a captain.
A captain. Yeah, I'd see a captain. Fucking bugs. It's that time of year again where you guys going to see me randomly going like this because like the fucking little tiny no-see-ums like to buzz the tower while I'm doing streams. Fucking annoying. But yeah, so that whole scene's retarded. But I have to ask this now before I forget again. Do you think tall white dude is Ruby's next boyfriend for season 2, who the doctor is going to have a relationship with because he came in is like, oh, you're so fit. You're so fit.
Tall white dude. I don't
The
remember
muscular guy.
The muscular guy who he bumps fists with, saying, "Oh, you're looking real fit there, buddy." Remember when they enter?
Well, we know who the actor is for Ruby's boyfriend in season 2.
Oh,
This
you're
guy
right.
plays
We
Prince
don't.
Eric.
You're right. I forgot. We do know that. Never mind. I'd forgotten that. Question retracted. I'm an idiot. Back to the other stupid shit.
It was just an excuse for the doctor to be a little
gay. Okay, see, I was trying to make the whole, oh, he's gonna want to be gay with this guy. He's still him being very gay. Still him being very gay. But it's just him being very gay. It's not, Ruby's boyfriend. He's gonna
Speaking of that scene, this episode doesn't know what a goddamn whatchamacallit. I forgot the term. Man, I'm the idiot now. That really derailed my point. Anagram.
Welcome to my
anagram.
Yeah, they don't know.
They
what
have
an
no
anagram
idea what
is.
an anagram is because there's the triad that means TARDIS and that actually means Sutek, and then there was the Harbinger one too. That one
You were
didn't
right about the
actually
Harbinger. You were right about that. You said there was going to be a Harbinger, and there was, just not the same
That is
Harbinger.
Dumbest fucking thing. How the fuck does Unit not do a background check on her, not figure the shit out? They have the information on the goddamn goblins. They have all this information. They're learning shit. You're not aware of a Harbinger, and your person is named Harriet Arbinger.
Arbinger.
Harriet Arbinger. Are you that retarded? You just let the Harbinger in there. It's in her goddamn name.
Yeah. It's pathetic writing is what it is. It's pathetic writing. It's lazy writing. And that is why I ask again, what has the doctor done? What has Ruby done? What has this story actually moved along? Because we talked about this previous weeks. You could go right from Devil's Cord to this episode and not have missed a goddamn thing.
Mm-hmm. The only thing they'll tell you what you needed from the other episodes.
They did.
Painting.
Well,
Susan.
Yeah, and they didn't even actually have all those in episodes, so you could have just assumed they were off-camera adventures anyway. So
yeah,
you really, you could absolutely skip from Devil's Cord. Do you even need Space Babies? Could you legitimately watch The Church on Ruby Road, Devil's Cord, then this episode?
Yes.
Yeah, because the only thing they do in Space Babies is snow, but they add snow again in Maestro or Devil's Cord, and can't go back to that time.
The only thing that might be is if they're trying to do the 73 yards thing again. Like Jed caught on to that. That could be other, but then again, that was so subtle here that I missed it.
I didn't even notice it.
Yeah. Jed noticed it because he's better that way. He's better than us. He got it. But you know what I'm saying though. So there's nothing that links any of this shit together from the previous
it's just
4
boring.
episodes. Yeah, and it's boring. And the only achievement I can say is that at least he didn't cry this episode.
Nobody had a temper tantrum.
Yes, he did. And a temper tantrum where I don't, why am I doing this? And then Mel had to give him a stern talking to.
If she hadn't, I think he would have cried there sitting on the floor.
I was waiting for the cry. I thought, oh, here comes the crying moment. Oh no, he's okay.
Well, I mean, he killed that guy. I'm not giving that to Sutek. He killed that fucker. He said everybody don't move, and then I get he likes to break the rules. He tells the dude to move, gets behind the TARDIS, and then the smoke monster Sutek appears and kills him. And it's like, you killed him. You actually killed him.
You have to understand. We are dealing with a child here. He's been alive for a few months. He has no concept of anything. And look, this is what I focused on in this episode, where, as you're saying, as the chat's saying, it's boring, it's stale, it's not entertaining, it's not even pull my hair out, but his behavior. Let's turn on the top window. Yay! It's a man doesn't behave like this, especially a thousands. If we want to go through heaven sent billions of years old individual,
Well,
doesn't behave like this. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Heaven Sent doesn't count towards his age.
You know what I mean, though.
But if you
mentally,
use the
though.
timeless children, that'll give him billions of years. What was it? In the 60th anniversary of this,
you know what I mean?
1 billion years old.
Mentally, Heaven Sent. It's mentally he kind of lived through that, though. It may not have been physical, but still mental. But you know what I'm saying, though? A being that is very old doesn't behave like a flamboyant gay man going, let's do the window, yay, let's jump up and down, yay, yay.
Yeah, but you said it. He's a flamboyant gay man.
Yeah, that's the excuse. But even when the Doctor had weird regenerations, like Matt Smith is probably the weirdest performance as the Doctor. It was for a reason, a plot reason, and he would let it all go when something serious happened. It was a mask over the real Doctor. When shit hit the fan, he was serious. He was ready to go. Shudigat was just always this flamboyant, gay piece of crap.
The only time he ever had like any close to Doctor moment was Devil Cord, and they took it away from him.
Yes.
That was the only time he was about to have a Doctor moment. And no, we can't have that. We have to have the Beatles come together
right now. But
you're exactly right. Them to come on him.
Oh, God damn it, Terry.
I'm glad he said it, because I was thinking it.
See, I'm trying to keep a clean show here. But you have to understand, he doesn't accomplish anything. And at least this, I sent this earlier to Jed and Dermy. I'm sure you know this. You loved it. You saw this. This is our Doctor right now. Scared. Frightened.
He's shocked at how big it is.
Yes, I know a woman coming towards him is probably a very scary thing for Shudigatwa. But this is our final look at the Doctor in this episode.
We've seen the Doctor scared before, so I don't have a problem with him being scared. The problem is like
this is a terrified child, is what this is, though.
Yes. The biggest crime of this episode is you take any other 2-part, 3-part episodes from the past. Each part is interesting. Each part has something that's like gripping you and makes you want to keep going on. The only reason I want the next episode is because I want to see how dumb it gets. How stupid they do this. There's nothing to this episode that was gripping me, going like, okay, I'm interested. I want to see where this is going. And I was just like, okay, let's hurry up. Let's get this over with.
Well, Jeremy, I asked Jed this earlier, so I already have his answer. I'm going to ask you. When we return to the episode next week, this moment, I'll bet dollars to donuts that Mel saves him.
Oh, yeah.
Right here. Mel's going to save him, and then he's going to ride bitch on her scooter back to Unit, which we've seen in the trailer. That's
I
what's
agree.
going to happen. That's what's going to happen. He is frozen. Because remember, when he faced the Maestro, he had a crying meltdown. I can't do this again. It took everything I had last time to beat the Toy Maker. I can't do it.
And he hasn't beat anybody. He hasn't done anything successful. It's gonna end up being that Ruby saves the fucking day because I think she gives birth to herself.
Well, actually, to listen, I credit as an FNT for seeing this a couple days ago. The final blurb for Empire of the Dead says, "The girl who's the key to everything will save the day." It actually says it. Ruby's going to save the day in Empire of the Dead. I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow get Jason into saving that shit too.
Yeah.
Because
have another moment like the end of Star Beast is like something a male presenting Time Lord could never do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they all love cock.
And I don't know if that's good enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I know.
I think the category is men, gay men, women, gay women, trans women.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's the.
You're probably right.
Yeah. But so but that's the thing though. The Doctor, as Jeremy just said, hasn't saved anybody in 7 episodes. We don't count the Christmas special where he ganked the goblins because that didn't really save anything. That was just murder because that's not and that was very undoctorly. And there's no We haven't seen him have a sort of realization idea. He's done nothing clever. He hasn't forced different sides to have to sit down. I mean, imagine if we in Space Babies, if they'd actually done a story for the Bogeyman, had the sides sit down. When the Doctor Diplomat, we haven't seen a Doctor Diplomat where making two sides see something, some level of clarity where they can come together.
Mm-hmm.
He's just kind of frolicked around and cried and lusted after a guy who was a racist. That's all we've had.
And lusted after a bounty hunter.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. See, I think I just went to the. Yeah, I blocked that out already. I already blocked out man kiss because I'm not gay. But
I've been using it for thumbnails, so.
Yeah, I used the blubbering face for the thumbnail. I actually managed to get that out there. I managed to make use of it this week. I was very happy for that. But it's a complete disservice to the legacy and lore of Doctor Who. I mean,
I've
Jeremy,
been saying this and thinking about this.
Let me ask you a question, and you can add what you're going to say onto it, because I want to ask you this question. You've been getting way more heat from the stands than Jed and I have.
Yeah, oh yeah.
In the past month. Have they been able in any of you, and you play with your food? You've been playing with your food.
Playing with them.
You've been playing with your food. Have you been able to get any sort of answer from them as to what the Doctor has accomplished this season? Anything?
No, I started posing to all of them. Where's the character development for anybody? Who is Ruby? Who is the Doctor in this run through? Who are they? And people said, well, they're Ruby and the Doctor. Where's the character development? And they keep using the same answer. 73 yards is where character development is. 73 yards. I was like, you can't use 73 yards because 73 yards gets erased at the end. All that's out the window. Where's the development? And they always strike back with, you're just a hater. They don't have answers. They refuse to answer anything. They can't come to grips with this. Heck, I just had a guy start saying everybody loves the show, even though it's getting 0 ratings. Nobody likes it. Stands are just reinforcing that they like it, but they can't tell you why they like it. They can't actually do these hard sit-down discussions about what is good about the show and what isn't good about the show. I can say there's some wins here or there. Shooty didn't cry. I'm curious how the time window works, but outside of that, I was just bored and
you're curious how the time window worked because they didn't explain how the time window worked.
Yes, there's curiosity here. There's things that I could give a win here or there. For fuck's sakes, Don and Bubble, for the majority of the time, I was enjoying it until they fucking racism at the end. I could give wins. I'm willing to give you guys wins. But nobody could tell me why they like it. Because I could point out all the reasons I hate it. You can't tell me why you like it.
And that's
other
the
than
thing.
Doctor Who.
And Jed, we've been over this bunch of time. We know these people haven't watched a lick of real Doctor Who.
Oh, God, no. They're all pretending they're experts on Sutek and are excited about that. Every single one of them had to go Google who he is because he's not relevant. Even real Doctor Who fans like you guys obviously didn't know
I asked you an hour ago when we were just hanging out before the last show. I said, who is Sutek? Because I said, I don't know who Sutek is. And I can admit that because I didn't watch a ton of Classic Who.
I've watched Classic Who all the way through twice years ago. I don't remember Sutek.
It's so small. He's irrelevant. That buildup, that reveal had to have been on master levels. Like Yana at the end of season 3 was phenomenal. Or the master mattered.
Or at the same time when they revealed the Daleks at the end of Eccleston's season. It's like, oh shit, it's the fucking Daleks. We thought it was done.
The Cybermen, even though they spoiled that in the trailer for the episode.
Yeah. But you know exactly what I mean. I was like, oh shit. Can you hear this? When that was going on.
Oh.
That's a reveal because we're back to the master. When you're getting all that kind of shit, it had to build up. This is, huh? And my first thought was, I'm going to ask Jed who this is today.
I didn't think it was anybody. I thought it was somebody brand fucking new, like the Maestro. Like, because we're dealing with celestial bullshit again.
He's a completely irrelevant character. If you wanted to do a big level villain that we haven't seen before, Omega would have been the best one you could have gone with. Like, it's still
Oh.
big level, not seen anything about him in New Who.
Or I don't know,
Even
maybe
Rassilon to a
you know,
certain
for a
extent.
second I thought, are we going to get the Valeyard? For half a second I thought, is the He Who Waits, are we going to finally come back around to the Valeyard, and will it be 14? Will it be 14 who's lost his shit? But no.
I
thought we
think
were
that's
gonna
still
get-
where they're going. I think they will eventually make
Yeah.
David
I thought we were
Tennant's-
gonna get the fucking toy maker again, just because of like at the end of the 60th, you have the person pick up the ring or pick up toy makers too.
You know, I
have all this
completely
connection.
forgot about. You know who
You
picked
have
it up?
masters things.
It was Harriet. Harriet probably picked it up now. Yatsu probably picked it up. We have to go back and see if it was a black hand. You know, I totally forgot about that scene, that moment of somebody picking it up. I totally forgot.
I thought they were gonna do another master reveal or something like that with a toy maker because they're in unit. Harriet could.
I
Harriet
don't think
fucking
Neil
could've-
Patrick will ever come back. I don't
no, he
think
won't.
he's.
None of
They'd
guys
have
from
to
that are-
regenerate
Even he's not
the
that
toy
gay.
maker or something.
Even he's not that gay.
Like they could have done all sorts of stuff. They could have figured this out, but no, it's Sutek, God of Death. Why
really
why
bad
do I care?
CGI got to death.
Really bad.
He looks like you said jackal. I said he looks like a rat mixed with a jackal mixed with a bat. Like he's not.
It's so
cool
weird, and
looking
that's
at
not what
all.
Sutek looked like, at least in the Tom Baker.
All
era.
right,
Like,
so Jed, do you think we're gonna get some effed up explanation for why he looks like that in this episode, or are they just gonna pretend that this is how he always was?
they're already pretending that he predates the universe and is the father, the toy maker, the father, mother, and other of the toy maker and vice and everything.
Yeah.
So they're not even using the real Sutek. They're just like, oh, some people might remember sort of kind of this name. Now let's do what we want with this name.
At best, they might say that the Sutek from Tom Baker was holding a fake mantle of the real thing. I think that might be their out, and it'll still be pathetic if they do it. It'll still be pathetic.
I'm gonna love it because I didn't know Sutek was a character. When the stands come in, I go like, oh, it's Sutek. Yeah.
Well, now you're ready.
They're gonna be like, oh, you never knew who Sutek was. It's like nobody knew who Sutek was. Fake fan,
Yeah.
you don't know.
Not
You Wikipedia
relevant.
this bullshit.
Yeah. So here we are.
He was a well-written villain. I'm not saying Sutek was bad in Classic Who,
but
was
it's
just
not a mega villain.
Yeah, he is powerful, yes, but he is at best a footnote in Classic Who.
This isn't Final Boss.
No.
This is not Final Boss. Master, Daleks, Cybermen, couple others tossed in there. Final bosses. This ain't Final Boss. This is, as you just said properly, footnote. This is not something that should be breaking the world. And it's still just
Hell,
Earth.
Doesn't
Well, what's
Just had
left
his
of the
name.
universe, the Flux hasn't been undone.
That's true. The guy that made the Daleks, he still exists. I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now.
Davros.
Davros. We know Davros is in this
Oh, and it's
universe.
new
he has a
Davros,
different
too.
look. Yes.
It's new. It's I'm not disabled Davros.
I doubt they'll come up with an explanation for why he's not wheelchair Davros anymore.
For fuck's sakes,
well-
we have so many characters we could call upon.
Ones that we haven't
And-
seen in a long time, they have options. Oh, and the same people who think Davros being in a wheelchair is offensive, if you guys haven't heard, apparently illegal U-turn signs are now transphobic, and so they're being taken down.
What?
Yeah.
You know,
in
like
California.
the loop and the
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Don't make a U-turn or you're gonna get a ticket.
yeah, that's transphobic. So yeah, these are the same people who said Davros was offensive to
All right.
disabled people. So we got to add in a 13-year-old on a scooter who's really.
Oh, let's bring that
old.
up. I want to bring that up before I forget again. Why?
Because diversity.
All right, Dermy, could you understand a word that kid said?
No, I'm shocked we understood him in fucking Space Babies because he was in Space Babies apparently.
Was he?
Yeah, he was one of the babies in Space Babies.
I did not know that.
This is...
Only reason I knew that because I didn't know who this person was. I said, Adam, I sent you that thing. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
There's an interview because he says he was in Space Babies as one of the babies.
He was probably voicing one of the babies because I
Yeah.
didn't see him in there.
I didn't either. That's
He wasn't
why I
the
was
main,
so
but he
fucking
wasn't the main
confused.
baby who had a hard on for Ruby.
I was so fucking confused. It's like, what is this? What is this, a baby? Is this a person from Space Babies? What's going on here? And it's
It doesn't make any sense.
It's
if he
I
was
think he's
all those babies died.
Yeah, I think he's 18 years old in real life, but he's a dwarf.
And he's one of those dwarfs who like needs a scooter.
Yeah.
It's just,
and he talks like this.
But yeah, they made him 13 and a genius.
Why not just make him 18? Just make him 18. It's not going to change the fact that you put him in there because he's disabled. That's the only reason he's in here.
He looked like a fun character. I'm not going to lie. Like, it was weird, but
it could have been good.
Interesting. Everything, but that's the key. Everything could have been good. Every fucking thing they've done could have been fucking good.
Because everything put in here is put in here with an agenda purpose. So those of us who have been dealing with this shit for so many years, all we see is the agenda first. It may be a good character, but he's only existing because he's agenda driven. That's the same with Jason. I'm surprised we didn't see Wheelchair Chick.
I'm expecting her.
I'm willing to bet she decided to fucking opt out, same as almost everybody else from the 60s.
Well, I mean, there's a wheelchair ramp in the TARDIS now just for
That's
her.
going to be for the midget.
Either way, here we are. Have we missed anything? Is there anything we missed?
No, because nothing happened in the episode. Like,
yeah,
I watched it.
Boring.
I watched it like when it aired. Did my recording. Then I watched it again. Like, did anything actually happen?
No.
I watched
pathetic reveals and pathetic.
I watched it.
Go finish point.
I watched it 3 times. The final time I watched it at 2 times speed. It's like this. It's a 30-minute episode. Nothing happens. There's no point to this episode.
It's fake tension building, is what it is. Are we going to see Ruby's mother's face? Yeah.
What the fuck is TARDIS tech whatever doing?
What? That's a good point. We never even hear what this grand program she's releasing to the world is. We never even hear what it is.
And why it's free, because software is sometimes free. They're acting like the unit was suspicious just because the software was free at first, until they saw the logo and were able to figure out that it stood for TARDIS. That's not that suspicious. It doesn't require a worldwide release, depending on the software, of course, but they're acting like this has never happened before.
It's free because all tech giants and tech entrepreneurs lie, cheat, steal, and cause riots.
Yep. Hey, agenda. Look at that. Just got to get it in there.
But if you tell us like what SUTEC's like doing, what is this company doing, that adds more to the whole story. That adds more decent argument for this runtime. When you actually do it like at 2 times speed, you understand that it's a lot of just standing around and looking at things. Nothing's happening. They have some conversation. The conversations are very light.
It's everybody explaining things to the doctor, and the doctor not explaining everything to anybody. It's the doctor not coming with an idea. It's the doctor behaving like a coward. It's the doctor being startled, surprised, as though he never had a real thought or a clever idea ever. So that's what we got here. And now we have a setup where the doctor, and I'm going to predict this now, so let's get into predictions for next week. I believe that it's going to start off, like I said a minute ago, Mel's going to save the doctor. She's going to save Shooty. He's going to ride bitch on her scooter back to unit. And in the end, every woman around there and men dressing like women are going to save the day. And the doctor is going to come close to having a doctor moment again, but lose it because of his real granddaughter. Somehow they're going to shtup actual granddaughter Susan in here, and that's going to break him. And he's going to fail. And the cabal of whammons around him are going to save the day.
He's going to cry several times.
So I think there's a slight contradiction to the rules, because I don't think SUTEC is the ultimate big bad or like the ultimate boss of all the gods. Because I'm going back to what they've said in fucking Devil's Court.
Why is he here? Why was he there? Mm-hmm. But then again, I mean, when the snow happened, that links to that moment. So she, oh my God, I actually said she. Oh my God, I feel terrible about that. Trans dressing crazy person, Maestro, would have been connected that moment, and because SUTEC was there attached to the
But
TARDIS. So I mean,
so trans monster creature thing, Maestro, whatever the fuck, said specifically there were two things there, because he was wondering why is he there, and then later on he implied that he who remains is coming, or he who waits is coming.
but that's
So
who
he was
Sutek
implying.
is.
I think he
Sutek
was
is
implying. But I think he was implying whatever the fucking thing is, was implying that there's two beings. Ruby has connection to one of the
Maestro
other.
did say his father is the toy maker, so
Mhm.
there was already that conversation.
Well,
so
all right,
father
then
was referring to the toy maker.
let's take a look back. Then who's the Meep working for? The Meep would not be working for Sutek. That doesn't make any sense.
He said that he who waits. I mean, Meep likes to kill people, and the god of death likes death. That might be the most they've thought about the connection. But I doubt they will justify any of that. Any of those references. I don't even think the Susan will the face of Susan throughout history and throughout their timeline will be explained in any more than, oh, we wanted to draw you in. I bet you it'll be something just like that. Just, oh, we wanted to draw you in. They're not going to explain anything. And if the real Susan, the granddaughter Susan, comes in, how are they going to explain how she got out of the future? Because she was in the near distant future on Earth when Daleks invaded, fell in love with a bloke, and decided to stay. So she's at least 100 years in the future. I don't remember the exact date, but she's a little bit in the future.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have a TARDIS. How did she get back to this time? If the real
She has a vagina.
I'm sure they'll come up with some cockamamie thing. Either way,
she made her own TARDIS.
Oh my god!
She
birthed
even the
her
doctor
own TARDIS.
can't do that.
She's a woman. She can birth
He's
anything.
been able to he can't make his own TARDIS, but he can repair a TARDIS and try. But it's not
all right. So
good. But
whatever's going to happen next week is going to be.
It's going to be cockamamie.
It's going to be insane.
And Ruby's going to. Can we agree? Ruby's going to save the day.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it's going to be all Ruby.
Ruby's going to be the strongest one ever.
So let's play our favorite game. Is this the week it goes under 2 million on overnights? Dermy's Nostradamus on this shit. So, he's had it right every week, essentially.
Let me think about it, because I want to say yes, but will people come to sit down to see like what the fuck? Like, this is the penultimate episode. Will people sit down and watch it? It's a two-parter. I think maybe I don't think it's going to drop to 2. It might be around what we've been seeing, like 2.1s, but it's not going to be good.
Will it be lower than last week? Will it be lower than last week?
I might be a little higher, is what I'm thinking. Okay. Maybe around Dot and Bubble.
Okay.
Which those aren't high margins.
We're debating on, is it the third or the fourth worst rated episode in history? So
1-9.
It ain't getting the goddamn Moffat bump. If you think it's getting the Moffat bump, you're retarded.
I'm sticking with 1-9. I'm gonna be right eventually.
I don't think it's gonna drop below 2, because there is, like Jeremy said, the little spike with finales. Usually the beginning and the end of a season is where you see the best consistency and a little bit of a bump. So I'm actually right with Dermy, and that's where I think is right around 2.1. Unfortunately, I wanted to be under 2.
I'm still going to say 1-9 just because it's the joke at this point. I'm not going to change. But at the same time, last week we came to the conclusion that this is who's left. And realistically speaking, this might just be who's left. Who's going to keep showing up. The 2.1 to 2.3 million people who are there.
Well, think about
overnight.
We got numbers from fucking RTD, and I know you guys are going to be talking about it tomorrow. He said Space Babies over a month has 5.6 million
in the
views.
Special demo of under 30.
No, that's the total, and then he added in the under 20 demo. But 5.6 million total views in the 28 days. We've been told this whole time, like back when the 60th anniversary was coming out, and these episodes even, the overnights don't matter. So don't even talk about them. Then we start talking about the consolidated numbers and saying these numbers are really bad. They're like, the consolidated numbers don't actually matter. It's just the +4. Same thing with that. We talk about them. They're really bad. They're like, those don't matter. It's only the 28-day numbers that matter. The 28-day numbers is 1.6 million people. 1.6 million people in a month decided to watch it versus the first week. That's abysmal. That is horrendous. They're barely getting to 60th anniversary overnight. Barely getting over that
This
with
is sad.
Consolidated.
It's sad. So next week, season finale, and then we're on break with this particular show until the Christmas special.
Hell,
So-
The Acolyte is getting better views than
Not
this.
by much. Not
by
much.
much.
Not by
Well,
But
much.
it's
at least
getting
Acolyte
better.
is showing up on like Disney's top 10. Doctor Who never has.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Either way.
Yeah.
All right. We're done. We're done. We're done early today because we started early. So Jed, pimp your wares.
Well, you can find me on YouTube and Kick at Hollywood Scholar, regularly scheduled reviews and live streams back here next week, probably at 8:30, I'm guessing, Eastern, our traditional time for this show, to review the final episode of season 1, not series 1, season 1 of Disney's Queer Who.
Yep.
And yeah, we're excited for that. And then, of course, Roundtable and Saturday Night Drive-In, which Adam will be talking about.
Yes. Jeremy, what you got going on?
We got Saturday Charity. I almost said Mellow Mondays. What the fuck is wrong with me? We got Saturday Charity tonight at about 9:30ish, sometime around there. But here in roughly 30 minutes or so, check me out in the Fellowship Discord, which you can get a link for that by going to my own Discord. It's right there right now. And we'll be doing movie nights. I haven't been a part of a movie night since Doctor Who started, and we're going over Aliens because several of the guys have not watched Aliens.
Did you skip Alien?
No,
No, they
they've
did.
done Alien. So they've been
Okay,
doing it
good.
while I'm not there. So they did Predator, Predator 2, Alien, Aliens. They're doing this whole sci-fi kick right now. And I think they're going to do AVP. Steering them away from AVP 2. Even though I like AVP, I can't defend AVP 2 at all. And I don't know what we have planned after that. But then, yeah, Saturday Charity, check me out. Playing more Final Fantasy 14. And I'm going to kill that goddamn guy with a motherfucking shield.
You're just under geared. I keep telling you, you're just under geared. And then later on, I will be running Dermy probably through the Coil of Bahamut on Final Fantasy 14 tonight. So that should be fun. It's really, you're just going to watching cutscenes because I'm going to walk in and one shot everything. So it's not really going to be that entertaining in that sense, but he needs to see it because he needs to get that done. Anyway, as for myself, I'm technically done for the night, although in a little bit now, I'm going to be hopping over to Samuel the Infamous's channel for his 100th episode of his Screaming into the Void, or is this Abyssal Musings? I forget which one it is. Either way, they're back to back. The Void. Okay, I'll be going over there. It's 100th episode. I'll be hanging out there for a short time. Just gonna pop in, say hi, hang out a bit because I still need to eat dinner. And then I will be on Saturday playing games tonight for Final Fantasy 14. I'm just in prep mode for the expansion that drops on the 28th. I'm very excited for that. Tomorrow, as Jed mentioned, Mellow Mondays. See, I did it because I'm going to say Mellow. I have a specific thing to say about Mellow Mondays. Roundtable, 2 p.m. Eastern, right back here, where we'll be talking the overnights of Doctor Who. We'll be talking Acolyte. We'll be talking is Disney Star Wars dead? Is Star Wars dead? Let's define it properly. That's my case. Let's define it properly. And other things. We'll see what happens. And then there is no Mellow Mondays this week because I have to get up Tuesday morning and do something I wanted to do on Thursday, but didn't get a chance to. So no Mellow Mondays this week because I got to go to bed. Throughout the rest of the week, Monday, you can, however, catch my review of House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 1. Wednesday, you can catch my review of The Acolyte, Episode 4. At the end of the week, I will be over back on Dermy's channel for more Ball Busters at 11 p.m. Eastern. Dermy, do you have a guest this week?
I believe it's Mando. That's her name.
Okay.
Gal helped
and
line this one up. So
okay, and then on Thursday, though, a week early, Anime Odyssey. It will be arriving where Dermy and I will be watching Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon Season 1, and we'll be joined by Legal Mindset. So join us then. We'll give you an exact start time to make sure all the time zone differences line up, so stay tuned for that. And then next Saturday on Saturday Night Drive-In, Jed and I and guests, we'll line them up if we can get them, we'll be watching Terminator 2 Judgment Day, an actual fun time travel movie. Anyway, and then we'll be right back here, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, for the final episode of Doctor Who Cares Reviews until the Christmas episode. And Dermy, we'll be having guests next week?
Yes, we will be joined by Bradley Burnett, Duke Devil. He's also been watching Doctor Who alongside us. He watches our stream as well. He's been putting out his own stuff, and he'll be joining us to discuss it and maybe give our final thoughts on this run of Doctor Who so far.
Yeah. All right. So Brad will be joining us next week. So thank you, one and all, across all 3 chats. If you had a good time, hit that like button, subscribe to our channels, and we appreciate each and every one of you for joining us. And we'll see you guys next week. Until then, guys, take it easy.